with a few clicks of my mouse, I became a mom on the net.
So, we're returning to the breakfast sandwich video. I think I'm relatively good at cooking. However, with all of my recipes, I do a bunch of recipe tests before I actually commit them to video. With that one, I didn't. In the original video, I ended by going not bad.
Not bad.
That wasn't me being coy, it's just that it
was fine.
It was fine. Which, you know, goes against what the title of the video was, which was the perfect breakfast sandwich.
Yeah, you're a fucking liar.
Yeah, I am. My intention was that I was going to make the most clickbaity, over-the-top, internet recipe for the internet-themed recipe video. Since then, I reworked this one, and I took the parts that worked, and then redid the ones that didn't. The other recipe was good, I just felt it wasn't balanced.
Yeah.
I want the quality of the food to be an extension of the quality of the video.
Yes.
That is one thing I wonder a lot about with food creators. They can just lie.
They can just say, this is the best thing I've ever eaten. And it's just cheese wrapped in cheese, stuffed in cheese.
Yeah, I mean, they could do that. Cheese stuffed jalapeno, tater
bacon
tot,
cheese.
Bacon poppers. Poppers?
Poppers.
But like the thing with food creators, where they can come up with a recipe that on paper sounds good, and in practice tastes like shit. And then if people make it, you can just be like, yeah, you made it wrong. If I make something bad, I'm gonna tell you I've made something bad. Or if I made something decent, I'll tell you it's decent. And the last time I made this, it was decent. Since I first filmed that video, I've made brioche maybe 12 times.
How many have you fucked?
I mean, they were all edible.
Okay.
There was one where I completely overproofed it because I was busy watching Stardom American Dream pay-per-view, and then the entire thing overproofed into one giant bubbling mass. I was eating it and I was like, wow, this texture is fucking delicious. Too bad it looks fucking terrible and video is a visual medium. Then I eventually managed to rework it. I used a combo of a few different recipes. I used Claire Saffitz's enriched milk bread brioche combo recipe. Okay. Very good. And then mixed that with a bunch of other recipes from different places and tested all the different methods until I got what I wanted, which was these giant, beautiful brioche rolls. That's absolutely enormous.
Yes, it's gigantic.
So one of these will feed 2 people. The first time I made it, you can see it in the video, it is dry. The exterior was dry, the inside was nice. So this time I used this thing called like a sponge. You proof the yeast in some flour and milk in advance, which then bubbles up. And what it does is it creates almost like a more like layered, flaky texture. It ended up tasting a bit like, you know, the inside, you know, the crab meat on the croissant. Yeah. when you pull it out. I mixed it for way longer, which essentially gives it more gluten, which means it can like retain its shape better, which means you can add more butter and more milk and it'll still retain its structure without spilling out to the sides, which is what I've had many times making it. Then yeah, adding the butter very gradually. I used maybe like a 30% butter ratio in this. honest, full-on brioche in France will be about 75% butter.
God, it's so tasty.
Oh, it's so good, but like, that's essentially 75% just eating a stick of butter. The other important part was how I baked it. So you bake it at a relatively high temperature, but you need to make sure that there is boiling water on a tray at the bottom of the oven while you're cooking, so there's still steam inside, which prevents it from drying out. Through that was kind of like the best way I've made brioche. Then there were the hash browns. I don't know last time why I shaped them the way I did. I shaped them like a McDonald's hash brown, which is not the form factor that is required for a sandwich. I actually have the frozen ones. They look absolutely hilarious. It's a disc, essentially. Making hash browns yourself, really easy, apart from when I grated my finger when cooking the potato, but that's fine. I didn't get any finger in the potato, in case you're worried about that. Cannibal cooking.
Very good.
The biggest change that I made with this recipe was I removed the chorizo jam.
No.
I was like, there is sausage patty, pancetta, and then I had chorizo jam, which is just unnecessary. Because you can use the spices from chorizo and then put it in a tomato chutney, which is what I made this time.
Fine. Chorizo jam just sounds so fucking good.
Making it chorizo jam was another one of those things where I was like, that sounds good in a video. In practice, it made the recipe actively worse. Okay. Here's my chutney, which in a jar doesn't look that good, but it's delicious. Looks like some kind of fucked concoction. Greasy red paste. Well, yeah, I removed the garlic butter. There's enough butter and fat in this. At the time when I made that video, it was very in vogue to do the roasted garlic butter.
Let's be real, right? It sounds unbelievable to be like, here's 8 things that I like stacked on top of each other. Of course it's gonna be delicious.
I mean, it was delicious.
Yeah,
I keep talking about it like this. The original recipe wasn't good. I can't talk today. The sausage patty's incredibly easy. Just mix all the shit in with the sausage and then you fucking fry it by smashing it. And then it's semi-dried apricot. It's very important. I didn't make that distinction in any other way that I've put up this recipe before. So if anyone's made it, which I've heard people have, if you used fully dried apricots, man, that texture must have sucked.
Hey man, why are you shitting on people making your recipes?
Oh no, I'm shitting on myself. This time I didn't get thick cut pancetta, so it looks worse than it did the first time.
Okay.
Still tastes the same, so it's fine. You can use bacon. I like pancetta. I don't know the difference. One's Italian. I don't know if there's anything else to do other than eat this shit. The perfect breakfast sandwich.
Hell yeah, man.
There's no such thing as perfect art.
See, I would say that.
Apart from Stardom All-Star.
There you go.
I mean, right now, that looks pretty fucking spectacular. I think there's a lesson that can be learned here, at least for me personally. In an effort to make the dish just better taste-wise, I've made it look better visually as well. Where I went purely for aesthetic last time, and crazy factor. And it just looks much better.
But is it literally just like that thing that we say of like, the smell is tied to the flavor, is tied to how it looks and plating and whatever. Like all of it matters.
It probably is that.
For whatever reason, it looks better because it's gonna taste better.
Yeah, the flavor now is more balanced, so that's kind of trickled down to how it looks. It just looks more correct now.
Dude.
There's a cross section. Look at that.
That is so TikTok.
This was me trying to make it less TikTok.
Yeah.
There you go. Oh no, I won't give you the one I just manhandled. I'll give you the other one. Brioche is so soft.
God, it smells so good.
Enjoy.
Oh, dude.
Yeah. For me, it's the texture that I think makes it.
Yeah,
because it's so pillowy, and then you get these little bits of crispiness.
That brioche is unbelievable.
Shout out American cheese. Nothing better in a situation like this than weird plastic cheese.
Dude, this is so fucking good. That chutney is unbelievable.
Thank you. I also think the form factor on this is way better than the first time because you can actually just eat the whole thing in one bite as well. Like you get everything. No, it's way too tall. It's not falling apart.
Yeah, like at all. It's actually holding together. I'm losing like bits of crispy bacon and that's it. Sorry, pancetta.
One of my favorite flavor combinations is sweet and salty, which I tried to get right in this. I think in a breakfast sandwich, it's one of the best combos.
Breakfast in general, bacon and maple syrup, apple sausages.
That's kind of what I was channeling when I made the sausage patty in this. I'm very happy with that.
This is fucking wonderful.
It's also really weird to talk through my recipes, but enough people have commented that I've started to realize that some people actually do want to make my recipes, which I didn't think was a thing. Oh my god, you finished it quicker than me.
I milled it.
There you go. The perfect breakfast sandwich.
You know what? It's not clickbait anymore.